All right, we'll call this meeting of the Historic District Commission to order at 7:07 PM, and I'll seat Ferguson and Goodrich as full members. How would you read the call?
Dear Matt, please publish the following public notice for one insertion on Monday, November 28th, 2022. Town of Groton notice of public hearing, Historic District Commission. The Historic District Commission will hold a public hearing on Tuesday, December 6th, 2022 at 7 PM at the Groton Town Hall Annex, 134 Groton Long Point Road, and virtually via the Zoom platform to hear the following applications requesting a certificate of appropriateness. HCC 22-61, 46 West Main Street, Mystic Parking LLC owner, Leo Roach applicant, signage, PIN number 2619183099937. HCC 22-51, 3 Pearl Street Capital Limited Liability Company, owner applicant Judd Furtman, modification of existing permit, PIN number 2619183177086. A Zoom meeting link will be posted to the town's website meetings calendar or can be attended by visiting www.zoom.us. Webinar ID 847-4059-6368, password 645771, or by phone 1312-626-6799. Applications are on file and available for public inspection during normal business hours at the Planning Department, 134 Groton Long Point Road, Groton, Connecticut, dated this 28th day of November, 2022 at Groton, Connecticut. Todd Brady, Secretary.
I'm gonna waive reading of the hearing procedures. They're over there if anyone would like to take a look at it. And we'll move on to HTC 22-61. Mr. Roach, come on up. Just state your name and address.
Leo Roach. I'm here for signage for 1 Pearl Street, Mr. Flanagan.
We switched the camera.
Can you walk us through it like you were here before?
Yeah. Okay. It's backwards. Okay. Go on. Yeah. Okay, I was here a couple of weeks ago. They were looking for permission to put in the sign. I think you got everything in front of you there. What you see. It's for the parking down on the street. Really need to get that sign on Pearl Street. As well to Photoshop a picture of the sign would look like in the building. That's what I came up with.
Is it going to be the same level as the young ones? Slightly lower.
About 9 feet off the ground.
Yeah, what it's made out of?
It's actually Mystic Sign Company is doing it, and I believe it's going to be wood, and it's going to be metal arm supporting it.
We have a list of materials. Right?
I don't have the list, but I believe that's what he's saying. That's he's going to use. He does a lot of them in town. I guess that's what he does.
Just for the file.
Just for the file, yeah.
We need that for you.
Can you just write it on this?
Live again, right?
Did you write the list of materials?
Yeah, I can.
Like a metal arm and wood. Is that the same materials, young buns, both the arm and the?
Yeah, I believe so. It might be. You might have some type of sheeting. What's on there, an all-weather sheeting. I don't know really what's that called, but it's very common around the town, I believe. Just got a pen. Thank you.
If you want to just cover yourself, what you might want to say is the same materials as used on the young but sign. Is that sign too?
I believe so. I'm not sure.
Critical signs.
Or is it on the west? Or west?
But this is like a similar material, so but you really gotta tell us what it is or. else-
Okay.
Without.
Just find out the information from him. If it's drastically different, just submit it.
Okay, we'll hold it tonight.
But what I would say is write the materials, it's different. Right, yeah.
Yeah, so I know he does kind of weather kind of, I don't know what that type of material is called.
When you say all weather,
Like kind, yeah. It's like outside, it's metal around this, and then there's, sorry.
PVC.
Like a kind of a PVC look, yeah. I know he incorporates that into it as well.
Great.
Okay. Plus, metal support plus, steel. Should I write this down or what is?
Yeah, we'll just do one thing at the end.
I'm just gonna write down metal support plus steel frame. Sorry, I should have had this. You see signage.
Initially.
Okay.
Those exhibits there too, we have.
Okay.
Or we need that, or we already have it.
We already have that.
Oh, I do not.
Even back up the sign, because if you have a copy, it's easier to stamp it. than it is to sign. You stamp the cover anyway.
Let me fill up my phone real quick. He might have sent that to me. That doesn't matter. Fine, I'll get back to this. Okay.
Anyone else? Questions?
So this for the record, gonna be the same height, young bun, basically the same material.
Okay.
And
That's the same size, actually measuring all the signs, so we get the exact same size, so thank you, Leo, for that.
Okay.
Perfect.
Okay, I can just move forward with this. Okay.
we have to vote later.
Okay.
Just wait for us to vote.
You can make, okay,
Yeah.
all right. Okay, thank you.
Have a good time in Qatar.
Great time.
Yeah.
Great. That was a good trip.
Imagine.
The thing games, right? Yeah.
Man, Qatar. Oh, I know. I read that. No beer though.
No beer.
Does anyone in the audience have anything to say for this application? Anyone to say anything against this application? All right, HTC 22-61 is closed. HTC 22-62, this is 3 Pearl Street modification.
I'm Dave McCool. I'm here for Judd Furman from Elite Construction. Replacing spindle railings for cable rail. Yes, the permit was already approved for the spindles. 3 Pearl Street, Mystic.
Both those decks? or
Yes.
just 2
Yep,
decks?
yep.
I think there's 2 decks, yeah. Yeah, it's for both those decks.
You just want to change the wood for,
Yes, originally we had done just the white railing with the white spindles. We're gonna change the white spindles out for the cable rail system. Everything else is the same, posts, caps, top rail, bottom rail. online.
You have a list of. That
Yeah,
the materials not included in this.
It's just cable rails though, maybe.
It's like all that system.
didn't we talk about cable rails the first time they?
No, first came in was top on the bottom attached to the base of the outside. Yeah, on the outside.
I think we suggested rails. And they don't,
Or that, or a more conventional rail.
they don't pay for it or something.
I don't remember. So detail on the cable rail in the submission pack.
Just put their standard. The Feeney.
Yeah, cable rail by. It's pretty much the same. Everybody.
I'm not too concerned about it, if that's what it
Well,
was.
the only reason that's because bringing business, I'm doing an issue now because somebody gave us a photograph that's considered to be okay, and I'm not okay with photographs. It kind of limits our ability. I'm told by Mr. Zannery that a photograph is supposed to like every possible change. It's not. I'd rather we stick to the process by feeling. I'd rather.
I agree. I think what the system is, that's all you can get, those middle rails. You just write
I was just gonna say, can we just do the same thing that we usually do?
Yeah. back one page, so it's on the front. Do you have the Feeney, is it the book for it?
I have the railing book, but the Feeney's in there. It should be. Yeah, there's something out of there. That's fine.
There.
You just. They don't make
Yeah. Well, that's the supplier. They use Feeney cable rail.
But you just handwrite. Is that okay with everyone else? Stainless steel.
stainless steel locking. Not called stainless steel cable.
Yeah.
That's all you're changing.
I get it. I just back 5 times. I just think we should try to do the same. That's my last comment on it.
How about this? What if you write stuff down and then you just email over the Feeney detail?
You want to write it like right on here?
Yeah. And then we have the detail. There's not a lot of,
I guess.
no, I know what you're saying.
revision.
Right, I mean, this is.
Spacing is the spacing. It's not like you could do like 20-inch spaces or something. But I agree with you. I think anything that could be different or maybe put different.
Yeah.
You read my mind. I gotta have a special.
$42 a piece.
Each. A little. Each strand is $42.
No,
No,
just
just
that
that
low
Is it
end.
the tightener?
Cool.
It's like, so it's like a halyard tightener. And then it's side stays.
Yeah, keep it going.
You got 100.
Yeah, we need a sample for the file.
$20 right
Initial of that. You initial that.
Did you write
Oh,
your?
the initial, no, sorry.
Just write your name. I'm good. Anyone else?
I just want to say thank you for bringing the sample. That's super helpful.
Yeah, no problem at all.
If there's You familiar with?
I'm not completely, no.
Okay, so you just presented to us, still ask some more questions. And then we'll hear it at any other applications, then
Mhm.
we'll close that part and then we'll vote. So by the end of tonight, you'll have a.
All right.
answer.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Make sure you're clear.
We're good. Thank you.
Good. Thank you very much.
Anyone in the audience have anything to say in support? All right, HTC 22-62 is closed.
Yeah.
No, you
don't have to
you
wait.
can
You don't
leave
have
if
to,
you want.
but you'll,
It's gonna be quick. There's only 2 cases.
I was gonna say, that's why I'd say, stay. If there were 8 more cases, I'd be like, have a good night. Just check with us tomorrow.
Any pre-application?
Your consideration for hearings. No, you have to vote on these first.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Okay. So HTC 22-61, this is the parking site. Any comments?
I think it was well done. I mean, we matched the massing of the other signs almost exactly. It's not bigger, it's not smaller. Same materials. I was actually very pleased with it.
Make a motion.
I make a motion to approve.
I'll second it.
Just that, though, he submits the actual details.
Correct.
From, what's his name? The
Something.
Yeah, just that he submits the actual detail from the carved sign guy. That's all. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Village,
Approve it pending the list from the sign company.
Ditto, proving.
Goodman, aye. Brady,
Aye.
Levinson
Aye.
is approved. 22 sorry. 62, this is the change for the cable rails. Motions,
I make a motion to approve.
I will second that. All in favor?
Aye.
George, Ferguson,
Aye.
Goodman, aye. Brady,
Aye.
Levinson.
Aye.
All right, that is approved. Thank you.
You get something in the mail.
Here. No, we got.
First one?
Yeah.
2260. 22-63. John, you gotta go get the list of pre-hearings.
Oh, what?
The list of the pre-hearings, if anybody signed in.
Okay.
You're the youngest.
I don't think that's true.
Are you? No, I mean, youngest member.
Oh, he is.
Is that one with the kids table down here?
All right. Christopher Knott.
On up.
Good evening. Christopher Knott with Mercer Birchie Vernat Architects, here representing our client tonight at 29 Gravel Street. I got 2 handouts, I'm sorry.
You're here. Yeah.
Right, I was here before the commission back in June 21 of 22 to present changes to the house, including additions and renovations to the south end of the house. We are granted sort of appropriateness under HDC 22-37. And it also included an ADU on the 2nd floor of the garage, which is out back. That original approval is new construction goes throughout. We were approved for a painted metal clad window, which at the time we were calling a low window. And we are here tonight to ask if we could that to a marble clad. Additionally, we've worked in the house and the scope of the interior has grown. So much so that now is a good opportunity to replace those in the main house, which is here. Again, everything from this point we're on the south will be new construction windows, as well as the accessory garage. With the amount of work being done inside, I'd like to ask about replacing the existing spec that we're using, window spec that we're using on the south. We've been approved for new painted wood shutters throughout, including the main body of the house. So we're really just talking about the windows, same size units going in. So the casing would come off on the exterior. When those old shutters, window goes in, new painted wood, match detail goes back in. Some of the advantages include to replace 22 units. And let me just go through here. It's all this on this face of the building here. On the front here, these 5 units. There's not a big shot from the side, but it's the windows on the side here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then the windows on the back here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units on the back. So all those units that we'd additionally like to replace, 5 of them exist as vinyl windows now. With the grill between the 4 window appropriate. And all the windows now have storm panels. So as part of the process of new windows, we'd be able to remove the storm panels and actually see the windows and have more cohesiveness with everything to the south, all the new construction. So there would be a cohesiveness, appropriateness throughout. Additionally, the existing windows, the main body of the house, there's a mix and match of some sashes to the house, which have a 5/8 mark, which is original, and then some replacement sashes over the years that are sort of old but not original, and those have 3/4 inch mutton bars. There's a mix and match of that. We'll clean that up and make everything 5/8 so it's appropriate to that.
And that's the same going on in the mission south.
Correct.
Uniforms throughout.
Uniformity throughout. That's exactly what we get to. As and then increasing the energy.
What they drove
The scope on the first floor has grown, so redoing the finishes on the inside. So if the walls are open, now's the time to take advantage, increase the windows, increase the comfort. Everything matches.
I'm curious why you didn't do
Yeah, the scope, the body of the house was not as extensive as proposed now, so there's an opportunity to do it.
you're doing the door, even though it's not visible.
Page.
It doesn't matter. This is vinyl.
Okay.
This is new.
New on the back of the house here next to the chimney, right, that was approved under the previous. So because it's like for like, say, window spec, we're wondering if there might be, a process where we could say, it's okay to go ahead with that, or, does it need an application process and a public hearing?
An email in. Changing it, changing the window brand.
Different window than what we approved.
No,
It's
well,
the same
this is a
thing.
different application.
A different window.
Oh, wait a minute. No, you have to put an application because you're doing the entire house.
So you move the south, no harm, no
Right.
foul. You now, for lack of a better term, the north.
Yeah.
So because you're doing the north, it's a different application because it's a different part of the house.
So, right, 2 parts. One is, can we go ahead and replace the windows on the main portion of the house?
That-
And then 2, we want to change the window spec from a Lowen window, which is, all the windows have lead time issues, because of COVID. And Lowen is a Canadian manufacturer, it's a high quality window, but a Canadian manufacturer, lead times are sort of, we need to get windows ordered to a foreign domestic manufacturer, so.
Look at those for 60.
But better lead time than Lowen coming out of Canada.
I
So,
would say the application for the new, the ones you're gonna announce, and in that, just say change the second goal, just change the whole thing.
So there's a modification on the previous approval.
okay, so we do a modification on the previous approval.
Same modification.
So the new windows of application, is that correct?
I would just do.
You can do the whole thing in one application, but mention that it's changing the south windows to match.
Otherwise, we're gonna have to hear it, vote on it, come back under an old, it's just clumsy.
Right, so just do all of the applications, is what you're saying, yeah, okay.
Well, I mean, how do we, what if we looked at another way of leaving the existing application in place, the approval of that, and amending it, or, would this be a second application?
Second application.
Because it's a whole new part of the house.
Okay, so it's a second application. The existing one stands separate.
I don't think anyone's gonna care between Blue On and Marvin Old.
Okay,
It's not like you're putting in Marvin,
elevate or something.
Elevate's fine too, but I mean, whatever their other one was, I don't even think they make anymore. The
The one
vinyl,
that competes in the vinyl market. Yeah, right.
Glass, like the cheap one.
Yeah, this is their top tier window. I have literature if anybody's interested, but it's sort of the traditional architect's choice. Yeah.
If anything, better you can get the storm windows off the house and.
Right, it's just gonna provide a uniformity throughout, so.
I don't know if you want to take notes, but just so you know, see that you're planning, you're doing a new application. In that new application is the new windows on what we're calling the north side of the house.
Okay,
And then you're amending what you wrote to the south part of the house,
right,
saying that you're also
We just say you're modifying
modifying.
your previously approved application. You can put it all on the same sheet.
Right, it's one application, but it's
Yeah.
got two.
Just
bullets.
make a part one and a part two.
Yeah, and you're replacing all the casings and stuff, just whatever you're replacing. Material,
oh, okay,
pine, or you doing.
And then obviously this windows in your application.
That's even better.
sure. And we could get this heard on the 20th and voted on.
You
Likely.
should be able to get on the next, get it in now. Get it in.
Okay,
That makes sense.
yeah, I mean, this will essentially be our package here, ready to go. Include the literature about the Marvin window, and then, the application, and let's go.
I would just check your approval though, because I don't personally remember putting on the shutters, but you might want to just cover your.
Okay.
Make sure it all is actually approved.
Sure.
I would condition.
Everybody have. Just want to make sure you dot your i's, cross your t's, so you don't have to come back.
Yeah. So, which house and someone complains. I need to do it all off.
Again?
Mr. Dunnigan.
I emailed you a couple of PDFs. Are you able to look those up right now?
Sure. Just didn't print them.
This meeting was coming up, and so possibly. Wait, who? Maybe I don't know. Let me read. What was that? Oh, okay. No, so I forwarded that. Yeah. My name's
Please.
yeah.
Address, please.
12 Ashton. I did forward. Okay. well, if I can do this way, maybe that'll.
Back to the deck.
No, I don't have enough money for a deck. I know, right? So I do build a shed though. So that's the insurance map from 1900. I need to go over here and there. There we go. Depends on who you ask. Yeah.
Those maps, the maps.
Section 1911. There's the garbage that it is now. I've got a just weed cover over it because it came down. If I look at like Google pictures, like the sky, it came down sometime between 2005 and 2011. So what I want to do, I mean, from the street, it's kind of tough to see. It's like it's coming up the hill. You guys can't. Well, I can figure out how to do this better. There we go. I guess if I just like pretend I'm showing it to you, right? So it would be sort of between these trees and on the right side of there's an identical one across the street, same footprint. That's on 4 Latham. That if you were coming down Latham Street, you see mine would be the up by my up sort of to the right of the house.
Do for siding or bed?
I was gonna get the cement like hardy board stuff. If that, not, I was gonna switch it from, here the pictures got vertical, but I was gonna go just match essentially the way that my house looks, which is, it's got that same kind of horizontal siding with the trim like that. So,
Cedar clapboard might be cheaper than hardy board right now.
oh, really?
Just
Would,
Are you gonna build the shed or you buy it?
I'm gonna build it. I don't have a job. Now I have one, which is the shop. So that was one of the reasons to come in is, I can give you a timing plan. How much detail do you guys need on a shed? And I was wondering if you care at all. Okay, great.
how tall is it? 40 feet tall.
What kind of windows you're gonna put in it?
Sure. So it's gonna be double doors on the side, on the southern facing side with 2 windows. It's literally gonna look,
Just write it all out first.
you got it, like that.
You're gonna
You have to give
build
it- I'm sorry, you have to give a description so that when you're done with what you told us you were gonna build, you build.
the way you actually go.
You got it.
So
Okay.
when we read, it's like, oh, same thing, and be more detailed is. Like,
Sure, can do. And that by Thursday night.
Thursday,
Business. Okay.
If you're gonna build that though,
I mean, I'll be done in a couple hours. Yeah, edit that. Okay, good. The other thing I'm here for, which is maybe a little more complicated.
I'm sorry, before you go to that, can you just go back to
Sure.
the Sana map? Just show
Sanborn.
me what
Sanborn.
Sanborn map, real quick, it shows where on the property your shed's gonna be.
Right where it is. Right where the foundation currently exists.
Sorry, where is that? Is that
Um,
to the right?
That little 1x square.
it's still up on the hill or is that?
It's pretty bright. So I have this clear built cement wall that's holding up a lot of earth. And then right below that cement wall is this
Where the shed was?
where the shed was.
Sorry, I'm really having a hard time seeing where the shed is.
It's right there on the plan.
Yeah.
Go down for a minute. Go down a little bit further. Right there. See that, Bill? That
On the
little
right,
shed up
what's
there in the upper right-hand corner?
See that?
Yeah.
And then there's that.
Yeah.
Then like just slightly.
That's the shed.
No neighbors.
Property line, so that's why I was.
Yeah, there are property, yeah, but, I'm, my lots to describe it in the way possible. But yeah, it's sort of hill. There's a lot of that my neighbors, they like the squirrels is what they told me. So, but it's gonna look like the ones that my neighbors across the street on Latham House. So just that way one. I used to mirror. Well, I can't believe I can't do this right now. All right. So, and then the second one, which is like I said, is probably a little more complicated. We did our best to figure out where the hell we were gonna put a half bath in the house, and the only thing we can really think of is replacing the side door. We have 2 front doors. Replacing the side door with a window, so that I'll have so I can put a half bath there.
On the first floor.
On the first floor.
Do you picture the first floor there, on the outside?
On the outside, yeah, that's,
It's like tucked around the side of the house, so you'd have to.
yeah, so I have a little, you know what, I could probably do, street view, right? I'm gonna look at my photo gallery over here real quick. There's gonna be something. It's an overhang that's it covers the side door. It goes right into the kitchen. We rarely use it. It sort of seemed the most efficient way to use the space. And I am having a tough finding.
I mean, if all you want to do is switch a door to a window,
That's what I want to do. Yeah.
I would encourage you to put together some nice photos and show where you want to do it and bring it the next time.
Gotcha.
He's got to submit it.
Yeah, so one of the problems that I have is that the windows that they replaced, the windows I have are from like the 70s. There's no, they're gross. But I can't afford a replacement. I don't know if it's how much a window costs. But so I'm thinking of putting in a window that's like a house to make it look, even though I like a nice window, my house can't really, it'll look like it's out of place.
1/1, or your windows 1/1, or is it a mix?
It's 1/1s.
Oh, like
They're all like a little bay out front that's got a set of 4 windows. And I'm gonna match them size and size and elevation so that at least there's some language going across. Eventually I'd like to replace it. It's not a historical at all. I guess is the thing I'm trying to drive at.
well, there were 1/1s. I mean, my personal feeling is that if you're just replacing that one door with a window, it's kind of silly to put, say, 6/6 window.
Right.
Because at the point at which you decide to replace all the windows, you just have to.
Choose to do it down the road.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I agree.
So a 1/1 that's relatively modern is probably going to be fine just because it speaks to
The 1/1 that I guess looks like that, but I mean, that looks like that window could have been 1900.
fair enough.
Fit any buttons on it.
Yeah.
It just- I mean, a clad window would be preferred to like a Harvey vinyl plastic, insert. Being like an Anderson 400 or something.
Yeah, I'm gonna put a new construction window in anyway, so I'm gonna I'm gonna tear all the siding down and put it all back up. But if I match, I'll bring photos, show that it's gonna match as close as possible.
If you got like an Anderson 200 or 400,
That's what I was talking about.
probably fine.
Okay, a wood window that's on the inside, but even the wood windows on the outside now.
Yes,
That's-
the
okay.
Yeah, the
clad,
clad window's fine.
Yeah, okay, all right.
just not like Harvey makes like a vinyl plastic,
Yeah,
it's
right.
not.
And you can get that on square spaces.
Yeah. Not
Okay.
Build on something you just said, ripping off the siding.
Yeah.
That's part of application.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you're gonna change, like, what siding you ripping off and what's going on?
Well, on either side of the door, so that I can put a new construction window in to put the siding back on, and then I'm gonna have to replace underneath. So I'm not making anything
You're
new.
not taking all the siding off that face, or, I guess that's,
It's about yay wide.
oh.
Yeah, it's a little.
Familiar with
Yeah, oh yeah. I've looked at it 1,000 times. You're adjusting it for like half a second on a screen. I totally get it. It's about this wide. The door takes up 60%. On either side is
I'm thinking like the wall big and you're taking off all the siding.
No, no.
That's-
No, I wouldn't. I'm not that bad. Yeah. Okay, well, thank you very much. That's very helpful. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Jake.
Anything else? Any questions, concerns? No, okay, great.
Public communications.
I had one earlier today that I emailed Peter and Tom and John Burr. So what a citizen complained about the Laz parking signs across from Factory Square. The blade signs, Tom feels that they're appropriate because they're at the entrance. The concern that was brought up is they are actually blocking the sidewalk and the ramp and the non-skid for people with disabilities. So I asked that that be looked at as possibly a issue and waiting to hear back.
Front of the bathroom, happens all the time.
Yep, that's right. You know where it is. Yep. Do you agree that it's an impediment to pedestrians walking around there?
I was in a wheelchair, I'd be pissed.
Stand these A-frame signs. I mean, we don't approve of them. Yeah, but they're portable. They're stuck in the same spot every day.
I don't know if it's a public works issue, Peter, because it's,
Yeah, public works, you might want to, it could be brought up with them and see what they have to say.
and I'd say for the business owner, it's a liability issue. Somebody steps into the street, gets hit by a car.
And that's something they're risking.
Right.
I don't know. I don't like it. But I see your point. Okay,
You guys that stand out there with the sign, walk around.
I know, but
There's your new job.
just think
Thank you.
the temporary thing, I think, is not fair if you're gonna stick it in the same spot every day. You can't take it. You know, you can't even tow a car if you're on property.
I'm saying the signs in the public way.
You guys can take it.
Actually, I believe it is. I think that's what Tom said at one point, that they could be removed if they're in a public way. Yeah.
I think
By
it's a
town,
public
you and I
way.
can't.
No, but exactly by public works, not by, yeah.
You and I are gonna go through.
A cop car.
Okay, I also had a community, or someone reached out to me too about behind Central Hall. Apparently behind Via Amelia and behind the building with a door in it. They had done some improvements to the area, like there's a driveway there. Evidently, well, there is. And there's also that pump station. So they replaced all the siding and all the roofing on it. The roofing they replaced like for like, because it went from cedar. The siding they didn't. They actually went from vinyl to what looks like hardy with floral trim. No issues, but they need to do an application if they're gonna do it, even though they're going from something that should have gone away to.
Is that on the pump station itself?
Yeah.
Who owns the pump station?
You,
I don't think the town has to get approval.
town didn't do it.
They still get approvals.
The town didn't do it. Central Hall did.
Well, Central Hall did the work.
That's part of their agreement though.
I don't know, but
I
it's
just,
just,
I think it was an agreement that's worked out.
even though the vinyl was hideous,
That wasn't on the original HCC, was that on the original HCC?
I was 12, probably. So
So
I have
it's
no,
not that
idea. It's old.
You weren't in watching HTC meetings back then?
I was not. No.
With his
It
GI
was not
Joe
a dream.
figures.
Yeah. So that, and
They're
then
gonna be coming in pretty soon. The drawings, they're gonna be coming in for the back, portico, the garage port thing that they're looking for.
so we already did that.
It's expired. It's been more than
Okay,
5 years, it's been more than 5 years, they gotta come back in.
so,
I told them they gotta come back in, he's supposed to be coming in, he should have been here by now.
okay, so the pump station, even though I think it looks fantastic personally, it was raised that they did not put an application in for it. Also, there's all this vinyl fencing that was put up on the right side of the driveway that I don't ever remember seeing.
That was part of the original approval. That was on the original site plan.
Can you just get me a copy of the original?
He's gonna be bringing that in because I think they make a revision for that too. I was talking to Bob down there and, that's like I said, you're supposed to be, what was the gentleman that always comes to me?
Eric.
Eric, yeah, he's supposed to be coming in with everything.
If it was originally approved for vinyl fencing, which
Yeah,
I
it
was
was.
surprised, but okay, say it was, then at least if I have that, I can give
Yeah.
it back to the citizen and say it was
Right, right.
correct. So that's that.
We're aware that's coming up, because that's, I saw the vinyl, that's only, these guys don't only vinyl anymore.
Right. So, yeah, if it was approved, it's fine, even when I was 12. That's fine. And then I think we talked about just getting a list of, or not, we'll go there in a second. Anyways, approval of the minutes. I didn't read them. Did you read them? Are they? They're good.
Fine.
Okay.
I was just gonna say, let's go to the minute man.
I would take your word for it.
That's
No,
your
I
new
did
nickname,
not.
you're the Minuteman.
So would anyone like to make a motion?
I'll make
to
a motion to approve them.
Second.
The first and the
I was
fifth.
gonna say, there's two sets of minutes, the November 1st minutes.
All in favor? Rich.
Aye.
Ferguson.
Aye.
I'm just gonna abstain because I didn't read. them.
Aye.
Aye.
Minutes are approved. And then the second minutes. You too.
I make a motion to approve the November 15 minutes.
I'll second it.
Mhm.
All in favor?
Aye.
Also abstain.
Aye.
Aye.
They are approved as well. Old business. So I have some things. The gentleman that came in about his driveway that was here a few times about adding that planter, that was never done or hasn't been done yet. Question is, does it have to be done and when does it have to be done?
5 year window, if you're done.
Make the change to what we,
You approve. COA, right? You should be COA.
but he,
So in the future, we need to issue COAs with a time limit is what I'm hearing.
If they have, they have the 5 year window in order to comply.
he built something that was unapproved. Came in,
You guys, maybe you should put a contingent on the timeframe on the eventually COA.
That's what we're learning,
Yeah, that's what we're doing.
which gets back to why I was on the fence thing, some kind of a stick or just we find the stuff out after the fact. And I think sometimes no good deed goes unpunished around here.
Right.
So just to follow up with what you're saying, Eric, we asked him to do it. He didn't, he came in asking for forgiveness. We said, no, we talked about the compromise and having just like the beginning part refurbished, for lack of a better term. And now he has 5 years to fix
Fix
that.
an unpermitted problem.
That
The certificate of
Something-
approval is given 5 years to complete the work.
I mean, I'm not arguing with you. I
Yeah,
just
yeah,
want to
no,
make
no,
sure
that's
I
all.
just understand what
Yeah.
we
Well, I
voted on
guess-
without knowing what we voted on.
I guess I am arguing them because that means that anyone can do it. No, I just am a little annoyed because that means that anyone can do whatever they want. Come in, get a certificate of approval for it, and then not,
And that's what I'm saying, maybe as the commission, you might want to put a timeline on certain items because it was a button, you know, backing it up. Yeah. Instead of just issuing a certificate of approval, you're doing this contingent upon you take care of this within so many
Then-
days.
I think you should make I'm asking you to do an enforcement action against the original unpermitted work.
Because it hasn't
I'll look
been,
into that. I'll look into that.
it hasn't been remedied.
What's that address? That's Pearl Street, right?
Someone on Pearl Street, yeah,
53.
Yeah.
53 Pearl Street.
because that's cheating the system otherwise.
Of course, it's
But I'm-
utilizing the system, that's what everybody does.
So I said, make a enforcement action against the original violation.
Okay, I think we should.
So I'm looking at that, just the flow of that, how it would work.
I think we have the right I'm not saying we have to go this far, but we can find the guy.
Technically, you get an approval for the other one, but technically still violation for the other one.
Right.
So yeah, it's just how that would pan out. Yeah.
Which may encourage him just to do what he was supposed to do.
Right.
It's our way of coaxing the process along.
On that note, though, I do feel that I personally don't think that Tom Zanarini has the best interest of this commission, even though he's supposed to be serving this one. I think that the town should find someone else to do it that is going to actually, in a reasonable time frame, advocate for what we ask for.
I think he knows the legalities of how to comply with the law, the way it's set up.
Yeah.
I respectfully disagree with you.
And then I'm saying that's, you guys also disagree with the town attorney too, so I mean, I'm not getting into that.
Peter, there's other resources, and I'll be very upfront. Tom's told me something, I remember other resources. That's not a town, it's a government state agency, and they say he's incorrect. So I'm trying to be very, down the road and middle of the road. And if he feels that way, I feel that way, and I've got another agency saying it's not correct. I mean, take the 30,000 foot view. How does that look?
I asked him about the fence, the vinyl fence on Pearl Street 2 years ago. 2 years ago, and he finally did something about it. Just get someone who wants to do the job, or just get rid of him off of this and have someone else do it. No, I mean, just either do the job or don't do the job.
Maybe you should write up something formally, submit it, and then I can.
I don't want to file a formal complaint against
No, it's not a
him.
complaint.
What is a complaint?
It's your questioning, you're questioning how the job is being done.
I'm not questioning. I'm saying the job is being done terribly. I don't think he should do the job anymore. I think that someone else should take over that job. He clearly doesn't have any interest in it. He argues with us all the time about what's right and what's wrong. And then when we push him on it, he comes back and says, actually, you guys are right. And then this thing comes back about the fence and
Well,
whatever.
there's
else.
also been a huge pendulum shift with board. It's gone the other way. Now it's becoming very strict. And so we'll accommodate, we're gonna become strict again, we'll become strict again, but it's like, that's where it's gonna go. Because there was a window of time where you guys are very flexible. Vinyl was allowed, different things were allowed, people were allowing different things.
Yeah.
So
But I think
now
it
it's
was-
like, okay, so now I'm taking in what the commission's doing, becoming a more stringent commission, wants to go that direction, we'll go that way.
I just also think it was probably the town's job though to, before you were around, to tell the board that they had a set of rules that they should have been following.
I agree. I don't think that's the commission. I mean, you guys are the paid town staff. You should probably be a little more expert at the job than us. And so it shouldn't matter if we're this way or that way. The law is the
Yeah,
law.
the way commissions are, they dictate the way it's gonna go. It's a very relaxed commission that wants to be that way. You tend to go that way. It's a very strict commission, it tends to go that way.
I don't think we're particularly strict, turning into a strict commission. I just think we're just trying to,
Stricter than it was 4 years ago, 5 years ago.
that's because it was run by Sarah and she did an absolutely fabulous job of having everything get pushed through, no matter what it was. As I've said on the record, particularly the things for her clients.
Well, I think that's where, if you're gonna do that, you should probably look at the handbook. Kind of go through that and clean it up a little bit, because it's very ambiguous in the way it's written.
Yeah.
So
And
that's
I
what I was
agree.
gonna be,
And
so I
I
was
agree.
gonna
That's
make a
what-
motion
that's
for
what
it.
We talked about that last meeting, doing exactly.
We talked about that
Yeah.
3 years ago,
Okay.
before I even started the
Yeah.
Water Street project. As you were here at that point, I was saying, I'll do it. She wouldn't let me do it.
I would like to rewrite the handbook, and I'd like to have that be a project we
you-
get started on.
I think you even raised the point that there was funding available to help us with it.
Mhm.
So,
Well, I did not know these guys were going to bring this topic up. And I wanted to just make a comment because there's a gentleman in the audience who one night went out for dinner with his bride and came across a violation of a sort.
the sign was lit, which I followed up and emailed you and no one ever responded.
And-
No, it did.
No, you didn't even acknowledge the email.
Tom did.
No, he didn't.
Tom looked into it, he caught a hold of Walt. Walt had to change his staff. And he corrected his staff, and now the new staff is doing it right. He had a new.
Hey, Eric, looking into it. Thanks. Received. Thanks.
Technically, you should bring up, I should probably brought it up.
Received. Thanks.
And I mean, there was also a question about the fencing and all that. I guess, I mean, I did not know.
I didn't know he was gonna bring it up either.
And so my question for the night was like enforcement. Like I feel like I've been complaining personally about
I can't even remember. I don't even like, I blocked the name of it. What's it called? Bank and
Bridge.
Bridge. Like I it's like mentally I blocked it out of my head because it's been such a frustration since I started on this board that he just does whatever he wants, or he not whatever he wants. We approves one thing and he did something else in certain aspects, not all.
There's certain people that
and
know
just
how to
nothing.
stretch it as far as they can stretch it.
Well, like
Right.
the house on Library Street, which I think is great that they're making progress, but like. It finally cleaned the sidewalk up, so at least you can walk downtown without tripping over the crap. But like, at what point, as I've said to you, like the COA is expired.
Yeah, it's gonna be another one that's gonna be coming up. That's like I said, that's why I brought up with Central Hall, which is a little bit bigger project.
Well-
So, because he wanted to go and do the carport, it's on expired when he's trying to pull a building permit.
Yeah.
And I said, your COA's expired, so now you gotta go back to.
And with all due respect, I think the problem is, I mean, let's be honest, everybody knows whatever the hell you want in the historic district, because nothing's gonna happen.
Right.
And
But
that
it's-
goes back to Tom. He's the enforcement officer. He needs to start enforcing. You know, he said it, I've said it. You don't want historic district commission, disband the commission. You don't want the rules, get the ordinances off the book. But as long as they're on the books and we're here, enforce it.
It's also not like
We've
these.
done a few along the way that, like I said, the one guy down on, for Rachel place, made the guy tear the roof off. The guy did the wrong job there. We had to enforce that, and he went in and changed out the whole roof.
You didn't.
That was an expense.
You guys didn't enforce it.
We brought it back to you guys.
Right, but you didn't enforce it. Tom's there, he did nothing. The only reason he did it was because basically he didn't have a choice and he wanted to comply. He voluntarily complied. There was no enforcement. I mean, kudos to Sarah for going, and dealing with it, but like, it wasn't like she brought an enforcement action and you guys were sitting there, with pitchforks. He just made his change. Fine, I don't want to deal with this. I'll just put it back to the way it was. I mean, I agree, he shouldn't have done what he did, but
My issue too is that people come in and they're told that they have a complete application. And then they come before us and it's obvious that they don't. And making them go through an extra step when the whole point of him supposedly screening things was to catch the applications that weren't complete.
he just doesn't.
I mean,
doesn't
you guys
wanna do it,
understaffed. You need to hire somebody else. Is that the issue?
Maybe.
I just get someone that wants to do it, I mean, if he doesn't want to do it, it's fine. Go do whatever he wants to do, or whatever his job is. I don't know. Look at someone else that's actually like going to do the job.
The enforcement part.
Well, and the screening part too. Because you're right, it is frustrating. I mean, no offense, how did Leo get in here with something that didn't have a list of material?
Right.
The other guy, okay, cables, for me, seen it, whatever, not a big deal.
Well, and the other reason I brought that up, and I'll put it out there, is, I have issues with Bezetta still, in my opinion, having unpermitted work. And when I sent Tom an email, he goes, well, you guys saw the picture, so you should have divined everything from the picture, which I personally think is ridiculous to expect us to look at a picture and catch every single change. So if that's going to be town staff's opinion, then I say we just go by the letter of the rule of the book, which is you got to come with all this. I mean, I'm not trying to
You were
be
taking the pictures of the finished work because he changed and altered from what he was approved on, correct?
right. And then I said, well, hey,
That's the problem with that. It's like at that point there.
right, but there were still 10 things he didn't tell us about. And I'm told, oh, well, because he gave you the picture. If I take a picture of my house from half a mile away and you guys don't catch everything, is that okay? It doesn't really work on my sense of what right and wrong, in fairness.
Taking pictures of a project, of any project, that wasn't built as it was supposed to be or what the plan showed, throwing them here in front of us in 6 photos of an entire project doesn't, in my opinion, mean that entire project has been approved.
Well, the first step is to take them back and get them before you to get an approval, if you're
Right.
willing to give them approval.
He tried
You
to have
CC'd
Tom.
on that email that I have John Burkett in the town attorney's opinion, because I'm told, sorry, he can't, he won. Then I've got to request a town attorney look at it. I mean, that's,
Well, normally when the COA is issued, you got to follow the appeal process. You have those 10 days to issue an appeal. If you want to appeal it. the
I
decision,
sent you guys an email 2 days later, within 10 days, said, hey, there's all this other stuff that wasn't brought up.
You got to do an actual appeal. That's not an appeal, just sending an email. You actually got to do an appeal process.
So as a commissioner, we don't have the right to say, hey,
I
something's
don't
wrong.
think he's appealing
We
it.
got to
I think
hire an
he's saying-
attorney.
I don't think he's appealing it. I think he's saying that it was never approved.
Refresh me on that. Did you guys approve that? I don't think I was at that one.
So what happened is
No.
they came in,
You got approved. Did they? I wasn't at that meeting.
Right, no,
Okay,
so-
there was the original approval. That was a set of plans that was put into the documents. That was approved. Then work was done that wasn't approved,
Came back to try to get the approval on the items that they didn't
which I'll,
comply with.
again, as I've written it in writing, I'll say it on paper. I told you guys over and over again, it's kept getting done that wasn't supposed, things were being done that weren't supposed to be done. It was out of my control. I bailed. They come back in.
It's even worse when you're working on it. It was even worse.
I would have liked the money. Would have been nice for Christmas gifts, sure, but I bailed.
And it was a really weak presentation. We got some photographs, we got some drawings, architects like, oh, I don't know, I was out of the country, I don't even know what the hell happened there. And so I voted against it, was on not the side that
They got
prevailed.
approval, they got an approval. So they get an approval.
Well, the changes, in my opinion, the changes that he listed as what was the changes from the original approval were approved. I agree with that. What he said, sat there and said, we made this, and this changes, that's approved.
Right.
But you throw a bunch of photos in front and everything that's unlisted, no list of materials, no
You guys
anything.
looked at that and you guys approved it.
But then I came
So
back
what did you
within,
approve? Did you approve the changes or did you approve the photo?
Pictures that they're showing.
right, but then I came back 2 days later and said, hey, by the way, I've been made aware that A, B, C, D, or however many of these additional changes weren't brought up in the first nor the second application.
So the staircase that you can't see on the photos, but that was changed, I mean, it's
Right.
approved.
If that's the case, the commission probably showed this picture, this is not enough information.
Right, and then I said, you know, these are the 5 issues that weren't brought up in either. Can we have them come back to get these approved? And the answer I got from Tom is, you guys looked at a photograph, that's all you needed. That's why I was a stickler about the rail. I'm not trying to be a jerk, but if we've been told by our paid town staff that you can do a gotcha and get away with it, then I think we just need to have a checklist. Everybody's got a, and it sucks if it's more bureaucracy.
Well, and then, so, I mean, there's a frustration that comes in this too, because you can tell people over and over what they're supposed to be submitting. And they still won't. And then they'll come in, and there's, we've had people come in here and lie, basically.
You did.
And say it up here and say, oh, no, I was never told they're supposed to get that. You were told over and over again to bring it.
I don't think it's particularly a more strict commission. I just think it's a more rule following commission. But I think that the commission that was in here with Elaine and all them 15, 20 years ago, whatever it was, that wouldn't let someone put a dormer on their house because there wasn't a dormer there in 18, whatever, or the people that couldn't change their windows out because, you know, Marvin aluminum clad wasn't made in 18, whatever, like,
I don't heard. stories
that's
about that.
ridiculous.
That's
That's
absolutely.
absolutely
The stories about that one.
Well, it's like I said to Eric, so, you know, I have a 1745 house and I'm a so much of a nut. I had all my old windows restored, rebuilt with the old mercury glass in them. Completely insane, right? That's me. I'm never gonna hold an applicant to that. They want to put energy efficient window in, I get it. You know, and I think Todd and I have joked, we're kind of on bookends, but we, you know, I think that's good for the commission. You gotta, everybody in between or good cross-section of the residents we're actually supposed to represent. Because that's what it's about, them, not us.
I think it depends on the property and the project too. I mean, my personal house has Marvin elevate windows in there, which you can't tell the difference between those and the 1880 windows that were originally there. And then the house on 6 Elm Street that we redid, I personally hand reglazed all 100 whatever windows.
Yep.
Across from Mason's.
Yeah.
The letters. Yeah. So I just think whatever.
Well, and the expense is ridiculous. That's a whole other story.
Took a few years off my life. On my hands. Anyways,
So again, I'm a solution person, like we can have our gripes and I think we all, except for Todd, have our gripes. But what can we do? Like, what as a commission do we need to sit? I mean, when you went
I
on
can take
vacation,
I can take the verbal request back to
when you
the
went,
office and basically say they're unhappy, they would like to, they're requesting that somebody else can be handling.
remember I asked you.
enforcement, let's start there. I hear what you're saying, but let's just tackle one problem that's.
Remember I asked you for the enforcement list, if you could produce a list every time we had a meeting of just what's outstanding.
Well, like I said, the only problem with this past month in fairness is we've been short-staffed with Linda being out.
Right, we gotta-
I asked for
And
that
we've
a
been-
year ago.
We talked about a month ago.
No, I know, but I originally asked for it a year ago, which Sarah, whatever, she didn't want it, fine, so be it. But just something so we can at least we know what we have to deal with. We don't forget about it.
I mean, I've been on this commission for about a year, maybe.
Way longer, because I've been
I was
a
gonna say
little over a
maybe-
year and you were here before me.
maybe longer, but like I never met Tom until that day you went on vacation. Like he's never come to a meeting or had a presence or even kind of gave a report. I mean, to your point of what he's doing. I
You
don't
go to
know.
a planning zoning meeting, you have Deb. You used to have Diane. You've got, I'm blanking on his name. Brown hair, younger guy, Bruce, he sits there, and sometimes Paige is on there too. Not Paige, John Reiner. At least you know who they are.
I don't know.
I just think that the town staff thinks this is kind of a joke. And I think that like,
I think, part of it probably is because it's an unfunded mandate that we do here.
You know what?
Unfunded.
Yeah, it's unfunded.
well, the town,
We don't get any revenue from any of the, there's no revenue coming in from any permits, there's no revenue coming from
Right.
anything.
Yeah,
But
but
I
I'm
just
looking at
think-
this.
I was just gonna say, I think that the town,
Town gets.
that none of them live in, voted on this and wanted it.
And you gotta look at it more globally. So I would guess that downtown Mystic is a huge tax revenue center for the town. And let's look at, how many magazines, number one architecture, most quaint small town. We keep going. This is all just in the last year. So all that historic look we work to protect is why people drive and fly here and spend money in this town. So to say it's unfunded is short.
Flip side of that coin is it's over the past 5 years that all the development came in, all its businesses came in. Where was the other commission?
It hasn't to do with the business, it has to do with the pandemic and a shift and.
Oh, the economy shifted.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's about to shift the other way.
Yeah, no.
But also the fact that new businesses and everything have appeared in new restaurants and stuff has something to do with the fact that these things keep winning awards in like Architectural Digest.
Right.
They're not saying like, oh my God, the Oyster Club's, renovation is so beautiful that whatever, they're saying Mystic.
Right.
And in the last 5 years, the only stuff that's really happened downtown is mine. That's it. An Oyster Club.
Expansion.
Cool, okay, that's
So you
it.
can barely see.
You can't see
You
that from the
can't tell the
road.
difference.
Look at the whole front face.
But it's not like-
They put the dormer.
But not, but, and the skylights I hate, but not in the last 5 years, if you had like some like,
Central
you know,
Hall. Hall's been working, yeah, but they've built it.
It's been a 20-year project.
99 it burned down. I'm just saying, it's not like you've had a
23.
Full permits is 17. so.
it's not like get a full revamping of downtown. I mean, sure, the restaurants and the traffic that comes for that and the businesses and everything, fantastic. I think that's absolutely great. But as far as like what we do, what our thing is supposed to be is hopefully what's contributing to being in all these different magazines for the architecture and that piece of it.
And I'll go,
Is that-
I'll go a step further. I lived in Europe in the mid-90s. I lived out west. And people heard of Mystic then and traveled here because of the seaport and the history, not because of the restaurants that have just opened up.
Oh, Mystic Pizza.
Mystic Pizza has more to put
Yeah,
Mystic on the map
exactly.
than anything else, quite
Yeah.
honestly. Like it or not.
Or
Your
I'll go
pizza's
to Dakota,
freaking
yeah.
terrible, you know?
That's the blue distributed, so you can show where you're from. We're in North Dakota.
What's that?
We're in North Dakota. Okay.
And the statue of Julia Roberts.
Instead of the running guy, which I still don't understand what his tie is.
Oh, he won the marathon. He lives here. He lives right down the road from me.
Really?
Yeah.
Never mind, take it back.
And hidden story is Old Mystic Village.
On Kelly?
Yeah.
Kelly's place.
I did not know that.
Yeah. He
Live on-
and he coached a lot of high school kids. He's like a former.
But I agree,
teacher.
biggest statue of Julia Roberts I would support.
I think we're going down.
Yeah, we're getting off track.
I vote for Julia Roberts.
Can we redact that off the video?
No, I mean, I would like to just, we've talked about having a special meeting for many reasons. and I-
So I'd say duly noted, I'll take it up front, I'll talk to them. And we'll see about changing some approaches with that. At the same time, I think you should look at the handbook, and if you want to do a revision on the handbook, you should probably have that come to fruition.
So how do we do that? Because I would like to do that.
We do, if the funding's available to assist in it, like,
So you're gonna have to probably sit down with John Reiner and kind of figure it out.
you wanna take the lead?
Yeah, I'll take the lead on that. I'll email John, CCU and you.
Yeah.
Tom too. All right.
But I think to your point, I echo the sentiment that it would be nice to feel that this actually means something, because I feel personally like it doesn't. To town staff. So.
And your tombstones on your roof.
Hmm?
Central, I mean, yours, the one with the tombstones up there.
I've said on the record, that was a terrible choice. I know, I agree. It was a mistake. Huge. And I think that part of that was rushing it through the process, which Sarah did a fantastic job of doing.
But also, in your defense, no one thought to look at your building from New London Road,
Correct.
from New London Road. That wasn't like an oversight. It was just.
I
just
think
not-
as we
it-
get more experience, we learn.
Right.
It's like anything else in life, right?
Just like the fence thing we've been dealing with, like, we heard the perspective from one road, but not from New London Road. And so now we're more cognizant of that. I mean,
No, and I mean, I don't want to pass the buck to Peter too, but first project, like I kind of relied on, I didn't know, you know. But I think it's ugly. I've said so. I wish I didn't do it. What am I gonna do now? I can't move it. I mean, I could, but who's gonna pay for it? Well, I don't even own it anymore. I can't. At this
you
point,
don't know that?
no, the HOA owns it.
Oh, really?
And actually each unit owner owns their unit. So I just own the first one.
You have
Are
any-
we still in old business?
Yes, it is a very-
I mean, if you have something, I mean, I don't know, I won't speak, but I want to hear, because you bring a perspective that's helpful for all of us. If you have something.
On old business, where we at on New London Road? Because Miss Catsini's called me on the way in.
Which one's that? Oh, the,
Defense.
Then
oh,
I think it's got to be an enforcement action at this point. We've made it clear. Nobody's here today. I know gentleman from Knowing Defense called me. Did he call you? Wanted to see if a cloth cover would suffice, and I said I didn't think that was in our handbook. So I think the neighbors have been patient, and it's time for us to.
Didn't you just send out another email for next week?
that's for the Ashby.
The
Orchard. Chain link fence.
Just ask them to come up with a couple solutions or recommendations or whatever.
Grove Street.
and again, Bank and Bridge, right? Bank and Bridge, that light is still up there,
If it's not on.
but it's not on. So that's what. There's nothing we can do. We can't have them. So it never accidentally gets turned on a year from now when new staff.
It might, and if it does, you can slit your wrist. I mean, get over it. Really.
Okay.
The lights off, the lights off.
Okay.
I mean, I understand drilling down, but don't, it's gonna be ridiculous, you know?
I was walking downtown last weekend and it was not on.
Yeah, it had not
My
been-
wife said, what the hell are you doing? I said, the light's not on.
I just, I don't know, that guy just, I feel like there's so many other subtle things he didn't do that he got away with.
No, I don't need.
I'm good. Anyone else?
Motion to adjourn.
Adjourned.
See you guys.
Hey, Max.
Oh, anything,
How's the baby, Max? Or probably not a baby, or what is he, 1.5 now?
He's 13 months. Yeah. Yeah, he's awesome.
So you guys probably sleeping now.
A little bit more. Waking up a lot earlier than I'm used to for sure, but things are great.
Good.
His bedtime is 7 o'clock, so things are pretty hectic around here at 7, but hopefully I can make it in here again soon.
Yeah, we miss you, man.
so
Yeah.
Max, what's your family's choice on when you stop saying months? Like, I'm 50, so that makes me 600